Yes.
The Mick Jagger movie?
The
He
Mick
has
Jagger
a
movie.
checkered history, that guy.
He also did Chasers with Christy Swanson.
I like Chasers.
And I'm trying to think what else he did because I IMDb'd him. Because I couldn't believe it was his first movie. It was his first movie directing, but he's been writing shit since the 90s.
But some are good and some are like, ugh.
Yeah.
So.
I didn't know anything about him. I just liked the look of the trailers, and I said, okay, they got me sold. No, Pat, you're not ashing in cans.
It's right here. I got it right here.
Like in the summer,
Not
if
ashing
I
in
didn't
any
have
cans.
targets,
It's not
they're in my
happening.
shirt.
Dan, what'd you think of Nightcrawler?
I'm not saying it was a bad movie. I'm just saying I did not like it.
Give your dissenting opinion. Go ahead.
I have a tough time watching people just be scumbags. Like, the movie that it most reminds me of is The Wrestler. I just didn't fucking care what happened to Mickey Rourke in the movie. I didn't care. He just went through, did his thing, and then whatever. So, the way that the previews played the movie, I thought Jake Gyllenhaal's character would kind of fall into it, and this would it was like a good thing that he was recording these traffic accidents and what have you. Mm-hmm. But it was really not a good thing. Yeah. So, when we get to the part with when he goes in the house after the home invasion, and you see it, and then I'm just imagining myself watching it. I'm like, I didn't really check out, but I just knew that the movie was not for me.
So do you have a problem with unsympathetic heroes in general? Like if the hero of do you
If
watch
I don't-
Breaking Bad?
Yes, if I don't have an emotional attachment to the character, then I kind of tune out. If I can't find myself in the same situation.
So it has to be somebody even if they're an anti-hero who does bad things, you still have to be able to identify.
I like Walter White.
Walter White took a long time to be Walter White. You had basically... Jake Gyllenhaal was a shithead from the first time.
Well, and when he's trying to get the job and the guy says I don't hire thieves, it was like it set the tone right there.
Yeah.
Sure.
I don't.
Here you go using big words like tone again.
Well.
Okay. I dug it.
I like shady characters.
I went in, I saw it this week, and I didn't know, believe it or not, anything about it. I didn't know that he filmed stuff. I didn't know that there was that whole angle to it. I didn't know. I just knew he was a crazy looking character with those eyes. And that was it. And I mean,
he lost all that weight, so he looks all skeletal.
And it was, you know what? He was, the movie had no moral compass. Without giving away the endings explicitly, he fucking wins. You know what I mean? Which I thought was great. Like,
he doesn't learn his lesson.
No.
I wasn't sad that he won. I just didn't care.
I did. I wanted to see him get
I
away
wanted to
with
see him
it.
get away with it. I put myself in his shoes.
You know what?
And he was
smart.
He was listening to a motivational speaker because he was so excited about doing this. Like he finally found his passion.
He's like a bigger scumbag Peter Venkman, and the fact that Rene Russo wants to fuck him at the end. You know,
he's got his own
well,
team.
he
Bridget?
puts her in a situation that she can't get out of.
Hey,
but he becomes kind of a celebrity at the end of it.
He succeeds.
He succeeds.
In his goal. Yeah.
I mean, he's a master manipulator. Like he manipulated all of these people into doing what he wanted. And I'm really not sad about that.
I'm trying to think of another movie that has a really unlikable hero. American Psycho.
I didn't watch the whole thing of American Psycho.
You generally like scumbag characters, though.
Give me an example.
You were the one who got me in Nip Tuck, and both of those characters are awful.
There's redeeming qualities to them and an emotional attachment. Like you don't
Irish, give me sugar.
they are put into a situation because not because they're scumbags, just because they made poor decisions. Like has everyone here seen the first season of Nip Tuck?
Yeah.
The first season of Nip Tuck plays much like a drama, and it gets weirder and weirder as each season goes on.
No, I mean, I really dug Nightcrawler. I liked aesthetically. I thought it visually, it took a lot of cues from Drive,
Yeah, it was
which I dug. Great score.
It was kind of like a Michael Mann movie. It felt like
very Michael Mann, very.
But but move fast. You know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah. Sometimes Michael Mann stuff
What do you think about that hacker movie he's doing?
I'm gonna go see it.
Looks awful. It looks like Miami fucking Vice, and I watched all 2.5 hours of that fucking movie, and I was so mad.
Miami Vice wasn't that bad. I watched it late. I watched it 10 years late.
Oh no, I saw it in the theater.
And
I was like,
I liked it okay, but I still don't know what it was about.
I was the scene with the grenade. That's all I remember.
That's what I was just thinking about. but I'll go see it because it's Michael Mann.
I think I'd go see it for kitsch value.
Hi, how are you?
Because it's that guy as a hacker and it's some kind of action movie. But it looks like maybe the plot gets more complicated. It mushrooms out of that.
Did we all like Heat? We're talking Michael Mann.
It was long.
I really liked Heat.
I didn't see it. It's on my list.
Alright.
All right, so
Like,
Dan doesn't like Nightcrawler.
Nightcrawler. If it was on, I wouldn't watch it again. If it was on cable,
gonna
I
buy
would
that
just
one.
I would just move on.
I'm gonna buy that one. I thought it was great. Bill Paxton. How good was Bill Paxton?
Yeah.
See him
Well,
in
he's
there.
the one he says the word Nightcrawler. He's the one that names it.
And halfway through, I'm like, who's that other guy? It was Ted Shaw from Mad Men.
Oh, I knew that.
Yeah.
You didn't know that right away?
I'm looking, I'm like, what the fuck do I know him from? For like a split
I
second.
thought Mike must have been fucking rubbing his legs together watching this.
I'm not that impressed with Ted Shaw.
It was-
He
it
wasn't
was-
wearing his turtleneck. I couldn't tell who he was without his turtleneck.
it was
Is,
still a
is the
man.
peppermint schnapps cold?
Yes.
Oh, it's ice cold.
icy.
You better get down on it right now. So what we'll talk about next?
Why did we decide
Like
on
syrup.
heritage?
That's what.
That's
was,
what Kristen had in the freezer.
was left over from
I
last year.
I bought some Dubouchets, which I consider the gold standard.
The gold standard of
classic.
peppermint schnapps.
It's a classic.
Oh, we got dead air.
Ugh.
First peppermint. And Dr. McGillicuddy's was the first peppermint schnapps.
Shit.
Dr.
Mentholated
It's
schnapps.
not a bad schnapps.
It's not bad.
I'm not a big schnapps fan.
I don't see. This is not as syrupy as Dubouchets. After the next segment, I'll grab that and we could all.
Oh, there's no segments. We're
it's just
running
going.
through.
Yeah.
Well, when I need a beer, I'll grab some more. So I listened to the last
That's
podcast.
What'd you think? Feedback.
That was,
I thought
that
it
was
was
the
good.
first one without the core.
Yeah.
45 minutes in, you're obvious. You start to get a little stupid.
See, I thought we were right on that
Like you
one.
couldn't recall the plot of a movie, and I'm like, seriously, he just brought the movie up. He doesn't know what it's about.
What fucking movie was
I
it?
can't remember.
Oh, now who's got the bad memory?
I thought it went pretty good.
That one was
I got
too
real
sober for
rambly
my
at the end.
taste.
That last segment, I was like,
We were fine. Like that was. We finished that one up about 2 and said, "Oh wow, we're still sober at the end. Let's drink until 5 in the morning watching
Well,
Billy Joel
You
videos."
guys,
Which I don't know if you know this. Pat and I really like Billy Joel.
yeah.
Pass.
You like Billy Joel?
Pass.
Yeah, you don't know shit. You didn't like Nightcrawler. You don't like Billy Joel. Get it.
Doesn't like
I know, 'cause
4-letter
it's-
words.
Doesn't like big words like tone and plot.
They're just pointing.
I feel stupid sometimes.
Don't. We love you.
And then we were late. to
You
pick up
use the
Dan
words
from
a lot,
airport.
Katie.
Dianetric and non-dianetic. What is it?
Dianetics.
Diegetic.
Diegetic. I'll remember it now.
I do
after
not know
this.
it. What does it mean?
Diegetic is when music occurs naturally in a movie, like it's on the radio or like someone's in it. They're in a room and there's a band playing. And non-diegetic is when it appears as like score.
Okay. I'll never forget that. That's it. That's locked in.
Diegetic.
Jeopardy.
So you like the last podcast? Do you have anything to add on any of those topics, like Twilight Zone or science fiction?
Did you see
You know what?
Interstellar?
I haven't. No, I didn't see
Okay.
Interstellar yet. I think my favorite science fiction movie is Sunshine.
Okay.
And,
Oh, that's a good movie.
yeah, I really enjoy that one. I was trying to rack my brain for a top 5 science fiction movies.
They live. That seems to be like on every.
They Live is great. Is Jurassic Park a science fiction movie?
Sure, why not?
Absolutely.
Yeah, I'd
Because
say so.
the Jurassic World trailer came out, so it's
We were
like,
just talking about that before you came
Speaking
in.
of which, what I wanted to point out, what I love the fact, and it just hit me seeing the Jurassic World trailer, that it's such a nod to Crichton with Westworld.
Okay.
Well, Westworld's going to be on TV next
But
year.
that, I mean, Michael Crichton wrote and directed Westworld, and now it's Jurassic World. Like, you could picture that being part of, like, there was Westworld, there was Medieval World, there was Roman World.
I like the way they incorporated the John Williams score in the trailer.
I wanted more, but I
Well,
guess
they
that's what they're
just
doing. I
teased-
guess that's what they're doing. Hey, Chris Luzzo's in the house.
What's going on?
Hey, what's up,
sir?
Andrew? How are you?
Hey.
Wait a minute, I thought you were going to bring some good beer. The
No.
fuck is this? You bring
No.
good beer every year. You bring a 30-pack of High Life?
That's right.
All right. The Sportsman, is that camouflage?
Probably. Gonna kill some deer later.
We are in the middle of the Drinks on Monday podcast. Now, you're a fan. You've been listening?
I have
That's what I
listened
hear.
a couple episodes.
Is there anything you like, anything you don't like, anything you want to talk about that you've heard on the show?
I like the banter.
The
The
banter.
drinking and just the chat.
Now,
Hanging around and
do you find it to be unlistenable towards the end? Or
I think it gets funnier towards the end.
I don't think it's unlistenable, but that seems a little
It's got
harsh.
monsters, and it's funny.
We already did the Ghostbusters joke.
it's got a love story. It's scary.
I say iconic things. I'm sorry.
Big
Over,
Big shot.
over
Big
and
shot.
over again.
Big shot.
Pat interrupts people a lot, but I guess we all do.
No, I like
Everyone's
when,
guilty
no,
of that.
Dan's the worst when it's on sports. Dan gets fucking loud
I do.
and ignorant about it. Like the way you tried to just bait John McLaughlin that whole episode into saying something stupid.
The whole premise is stupid. I don't know. I'm glad he came on the show, but I don't know. Sometimes I think we have the points when in pre-production, but we don't get the points across.
We
During
could
the
script
show.
a little bit.
Like-
Remember when I used to show up with shit written down and you guys would laugh at me and stuff?
No, we didn't laugh at you. You showed up with it down. We laughed at it. It was 5 pages long, and it turned into the Pat O'Sullivan.
And you're
show.
reading it. You're not even. You're like reading it like in high school. And I know that you put a lot of effort into it when you were writing
I really
it.
did it. I really did
But
it.
like you
And take this for you think you sound like Bret Easton Ellis, but you know who you actually sound like? Kevin Smith.
There's nothing wrong with that. Which, okay,
I
here,
listened to that podcast. I was like, it's like listening to fucking Pat talk.
here's something that Kevin Smith brought up on his podcast this week that I think is worthy for discussion. He was talking about how his daughter has no idea who the fuck the Brady Bunch are. And how there's all of those cultural, because it's not on TV, it's not on Netflix, and there's all
It's
those.
on TV.
What?
It is on TV.
What TV
Me
station?
TV.
TV Land or Me or something like that.
Brady Bunch is on all the
Ryan.
time.
I always catch the end of it.
But there was.
Seen them all.
Yeah, there was shows that were big in culture when we were younger that as we get older are just going to be completely lost because
No, we
then
we didn't watch the Brady Bunch first run. I watched it on syndication.
But we all-
exactly.
watched it.
But that's my
But we
point. That's my
watched it.
point. And if you think kids today, when there's all these fucking channels and all this shit on demand and all this stuff streaming on the internet, if you still think kids today are watching the Brady Bunch the way we used to when it was on syndication as children, it's not fucking
Why
happening.
would they? They're
You know what?
watching new. They're
No,
We
watching,
watched
not
I Love
watching
Lucy. I mean, you watch that shit. We had a sense of
No. You know what they're watching?
Whatever.
Friends.
Yeah.
Like when I have to talk to
Seinfeld.
an 18, 19-year-old at work, like who has
Friends.
just seen